Okay, so the next thing that we have to figure out is how to make an ellipse. Now, in most cases, you'll be given both the major axis as well as the minor axis. There can be different ways. So there is a possibility that they may ask you to make a full ellipse. They may ask you to create, let's say, a partial ellipse, something like that. That's also a possibility. Or they may go lengthwise. So they may say that, okay, there is a product that looks like this, which means somewhere maybe this is a rectangle and the rest is an ellipse. So they can give you different ways in which you have to make it. If you know the construction of it, which is this one, the full ellipse, then kind of breaking it down to figure which half needs to be made becomes a little easier. So today what we're going to do is we're going to look at how this ellipse needs to be created. So I thought I'll make the major axis and the minor axis, but then I figured that sometimes you may also find it difficult to figure that out. So let's start from the beginning. I'm taking here a 7-inch major axis. So most of the IGCSE units that you're going to get is going to be in millimeters, but just to make it large, I'm making it out of 7 inches. So as you can see, from 2 till 9. And I'm taking 3.5 as the midpoint, and that's why I have that mark going. Now, one option is that you just put it over here and visually figure how much is 90 degrees, but then there is a possibility that if there is a small degree of difference, it'll add up when you end up making your ellipse and it may not come right. Another way of looking at that is if I look at 0 over here and then I look at a 1 degree difference over here, it may look still quite small, but if I keep expanding upon it or extending it forward, that difference becomes more. So you have to make sure that you use the tools properly to get the structure in place. So having said that, you basically put this protractor and you have to make sure that you use the tools absolutely fine. So I don't want to see small differences for now. See, the thing is, in the beginning, obviously you are getting used to the fact that you have to use tools and how these tools can help you out. Like for example, if I look at this as a set square, it does have a protractor in the middle, yes, but it gives me a 45 degree on either side and it gives me a 90 degree. That's how it makes the triangle. Similarly, there is another set square which looks something similar, but then it gives you a 90 degree with a 60 degree and a 30 degree. So if you find it difficult to work, let's say with a protractor, you may choose to work with those set squares also, along with obviously having the scale on either side and playing around with that. So you put this on that center that you have marked. Mark that 90 degree, take the scale, or you can use the same set square again. We are taking major axis as 7 inches, for which that's the symbol. Usually you don't require this for IGCSE, but for knowing how things work when you're working with a carpenter, you should know that's the symbol for inches and that's the symbol for feet. Now coming back here, minor axis, let's keep it to say, I was about to write 70 mm. Let's say 5 inches. So I'll turn this around. 5 inches means I go 2.5 inches up and 2.5 inches bottom. So let's say from here to here. Now you must keep in mind, sometimes when you're working, the intersection point may be between this, but there is also a possibility that it may extend. So it's always a good idea that when you're making your construction lines, you make it longer so that in case you need to go beyond this, you can. So that's what we are doing. Even though this is what our minor axis will look like, I have extended the line on either side to go further.